Thank you very much. Welcome everybody, and thank you for being here today to right a wrong. And that wrong was in 1892 when the city of Houston changed the name from East Broadway of this street to Dick Dowling Street. It should have never have been done. It was part of the move to put statues of the Confederacy up everywhere around this country, to rename streets around this country, and to make sure that that mindset continued as long as it possibly could. And today we get to celebrate that along with the park that is named for what happened to free black people from bondage. And we all know that that's hard to overcome. So that's why we have to continue to fight this battle. This was a really important endeavor for that reason. Now, I'm like anybody else. Yes, the major parks do have the name of the park on the street. But also, this is significant because it has to do with people in this city that paid for parks but couldn't use them, paid for streets but couldn't drive on them, paid for things that they were tax-paying citizens as well. And so, again, this is a very good day for the people of Houston, but particularly, again, for the black people of Houston. I'm proud to be a part of this and getting it done. It was something that without the mayor and without Dwight Boykins, Councilmember Boykins, would have never happened, because the ordinance was set in such a way that you couldn't use the ordinance to rename the street. So it took someone who would go out and understand that if we did it by the directions in the ordinance, it could not be done. So thank you, Mayor Turner. It's really important. Minister Muhammad and others participated in the petition drive. I want to single out one council member, if I may, because he didn't flinch when it was time to sign that letter that was the cover of the petition drive. He's not here today, but that's Councilmember David Robinson. He didn't think about the impact to his election. He didn't think about any of those things. He said, "Where do I sign?" And that's extremely important as well. And I just want to make sure that he's highlighted for not him and Han. The rest of the work done by the council together, again, we have several people here, but the reality is that without the Houston City Council, this could never have happened. I also want to acknowledge a few others that they won't be acknowledged if we don't do it. You know, we already had the name Emancipation Avenue in mind, even before what happened in Charleston, South Carolina. Before.
That's right.
So the reality is, Judge Zanetta Burney and I brainstormed on this for a long time, even before we started to act. And I think that's important to be known, because somebody sometimes thinks, well, it just pops up. No, it didn't just pop up. And I think that's extremely important. Judson Robinson, Houston Area Urban League, didn't flinch about coming and helping with this endeavor. Gerald Womack, Miss Bostic, she didn't flinch. So I just want to make sure that before we get to a certain place, I want to honor those people, and then also the people from Houston Southeast Management District and the OST Alameda TERS, and from the community. So I'm not going to take up too much time except to say that this was a hard one. We made it look easy, but if we didn't have Mayor Sylvester Turner, it would not have been easy. And that's really important. So what we're going to do today is, say a few things, and then we're all going to go over to the ribbon, all of us. And we're going to stand there together. And then we're going to cut the ribbon together. And if we need 2 rows, we're going to put our hands on the backs of the people who are in the front row. and that this will be a community ribbon cutting. I also want to acknowledge my cousin, Valerie Coleman Ferguson. She's on the Conservancy Board. She spent more time in Third Ward than I ever did after we moved on Ewing Street. She spent time with my grandmother and her father, Clarence Coleman, and it's very important that she be recognized. The other day I couldn't see her when she was under the tent, and so just on behalf of the Hubbard Coleman families, I want to acknowledge her. So, with that, I'm going to introduce the mayor, and again, I want to be very clear about why this was possible, because of the mayor, because of Councilmember Boykins, because of the whole Houston City Council and the people in the community. So without further ado, you all know who the mayor is, but most importantly, I want you to give him a warm and thankful welcome, because he has been one of the best mayors the city has ever had, and he doesn't hesitate from doing hard things. Mayor Sylvester Turner.
Thank you very much. Look, let me just start off by acknowledging the hard work of State Representative Garnett Coleman. He loves this area. As I was listening to him on Saturday, the Coleman roots go back to like 1909 or 1910, and so let me congratulate him for just doing a yeoman's job, not only for this area but for the entire state. It's always good to see Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Thank you. We're in the 18th Congressional District. It's good to be in City Council District of Councilmember Dwight Boykin, District D. Council members, good to see Councilmember Jack Christie. And I do want to acknowledge all of the members of City Council, because were it not for them, we would not be celebrating the name change today. So I want to thank them. Let me just be very brief. This weekend was very historic, very emotional, and for many people, very personal on so many levels. The changing of Dowling to Emancipation Avenue that took place in January of this year before City Council is something, quite frankly, Representative Coleman, that should have been done. A street should have been named back in 1872. When Pastor Yates and Pastor Dibbles and others purchased this property and Emancipation Park came into existence. So it's always the right time to do the right thing, and this was the right time to do the right thing. And so now we have Herman Park, Herman Drive, Memorial Park, Memorial Drive, and now we have Emancipation Park, Emancipation Avenue. It's just the right thing to do. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what's happening in our city. This is the dawn of new days all over our city. It's the beginning of something very, very special. But I want to thank all of the people here and those who are not here for just persevering, never forgetting our history, and working to maintain it and preserve it and to build on it. And that's what we've started over this weekend. And I look forward to continuing to work with everyone in this community. Thank you.
Greetings, assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. I am Brother Robert Muhammad, student minister, and Dr. Robert Muhammad. I also serve and have the pleasure and honor of serving as the vice chair of the Houston Southeast, the Greater Southeast Management District. To Mayor Turner, State Representative Coleman, to our distinguished gentle lady from Texas, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Council Member Dwight Boykins, other council members, Judge Bernie, and of course my chairman, Brian Smith. I want to welcome all of you here today at this auspicious occasion. If anybody knows anything about me, I usually don't have notes, but I got to take notes because the mayor has to get out of here. But I want to say a few things, and I think this is what Brother Garnett Coleman has already spoke to, the historical significance of this street change. Mayor Turner, through his office, has already spoke to the reason why. If anybody ever asked the community, especially our young people, why you should vote, I'm telling my elders, do not say to them because our foreparents died. They died for a lot of reasons other than just trying to get the right to vote. They died for crossing the wrong street at the wrong time, for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Say to the young people, next time they ask you, why should we register and why should we vote? Tell them because it was the vote that got them TERS number 7. It was the vote that got them the Southeast Management District. It was the vote that got a councilman and a congresswoman and a mayor that would make sure that this street got changed and that this park got built. Tell them that. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. The Quran says that Allah changes not the condition of a people until they first change themselves. I want to say to us that the scripture said that my people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge. But don't stop there, Pastor. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no more priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, and I will also forget thy children. This park was built to honor our ancestors, meaning the $33 million we put in this park was to honor our ancestors, and it's for our children going forward. Zanetta Burney and those on the TERS board, Brother Deloy, planted a tree that they won't bask in the shade of. Garnett Coleman and Mayor Turner planted a tree that they won't eat the fruit from. Congresswoman Lee and all the council members, including Boykins, have done the work to plant something that they will not be able to enjoy. But this is for our children and our grandchildren. And don't let anybody tell you that we built this park for some latte drinking gentrifiers. This park is for the people. And we welcome all people here, but it's for the people of Third Ward. On June the 5th, 2014, there have been many who wanted to change the names of that street, but on June the 4th, 2014, as the chairman of the Transportation and Mobility Committee of the Southeast Management District, I said there's no way you're going to put $33 million in a park named Emancipation Park and it still be named after the man that's responsible for us being enslaved for an extra 2.5 years in Texas. Dick Dowling is the hero of Sabine Pass, the Battle of Sabine Pass, where he turned back 5,000 troops with only 42 men and 6 cannons. And to spite our people, they named the street after him. To spite our people, Tuam is named after the city that Dick Dowling was born in Ireland. To spite our people, Hutchins Street is named after William Hutchins, the mayor of 1861. He was the head of the Texas Cotton Board, the cotton that we picked, so that Texas could contribute to the Confederacy's war efforts and put that cotton in foreign markets so that we could be enslaved and they could keep us enslaved. And the Elgin is named after Robert Morris Elgin, who was the Grand Master of all the Masons in Texas the year that we were emancipated. This sacred soil is surrounded by the insults of those who came after Reconstruction to try to put us back in second-class citizen. But today we declare that we're free and forever be free and will continue to be free. And I want to say to the community, don't sit around pointing your fingers and listen to innuendo. The world is run by those who show up. So you got to show up, and stand out. And I say to all of you, without a vision, the people perish. But a vision without the right people will perish. But a vision without a plan is a hallucination. Let's not hallucinate. Let's get to work. Happy Juneteenth, and thank you all for coming out. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Minister Robert Muhammad, because when it was time to get something done, he took the bull by the horns as the leader he is in this community, but also in his role with Houston Southeast, which is the first management district in the community of color. And I think that is very important. Just like the TERS, Greater OST Alameda TERS is the first TERS in the community of color. And I think it's important. And he's been on the board of the management district since its inception. Yes. He was put in the legislation, as well as Brian Smith. But I did want to say that I talked about people who signed the letter before Mayor Turner signed the letter as State Representative Turner. Let me be very clear, as State Representative Turner. And I think that's important, but that he gets the opportunity to preside over this as mayor. because it wouldn't have been possible had he not done that. And he didn't, him and he said, I'm going to do this. So what we're going to do now, and we're going to come back here and finish the program, but we're going to go over to cut the ribbon. This is what I would hope everyone does. You know, we'll put certain people in the middle, but we want everybody to line up on the ribbon and participate in being the givers of this street back to the community. And then we will come back and have remarks from the council member Boykins, from of course Congresswoman Lee, and of course if Dr. Christie, if you would like, or others would like to say something, and then Brian Smith's going to give a closing. But I just kind of wanted to give everybody a sense of what the program is. We're not going to be over here long. We're not going to be here long because it's hot. So if we can start now and head over to wherever they have someone that's in front, put your hand on their shoulder, so we all are doing this together. Let me get down. And in the count of 3, we're going to cut the ribbon. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Very much. Yeah, no, I think it's right. What's up, man? Nothing.